guys? Hope you've been well. I have homemade burgers today. I made these myself, and I am going to tell you guys how I made this. So, these are potato buns. I used 2 slices of extra sharp cheddar. I actually like the taste of cheese, so this is a very strong cheese. Just beef. I like mayo and, it's kind of tucked in there, but I usually like mayo and mustard on my burgers. But this time I have truffle infused mayo in this, so this is kind of like a gourmet burger in a way. So yeah, hope you all have been well. And you guys wanted the summer camp story, so let's just get into it. I have a very odd soda today. I have a Pepsi mango. Never even thought it was possible to make those. So I'm gonna open this and yeah, let's just get into it. For the guys and gals out there who like the fizzies, cheers. Oh, it's subtle. It's very subtle. I like that. It's not overbearing. Yeah. Very, very premium. So, I went to a summer camp. I think it was around like early 2010s. Yeah, early 2010s. And I had just moved from one city to another. And my mother wanted me to be a part of all these different activities. So she signed me up for swimming. She signed me up for karate, as you guys know from the karate story I did. The karate story time I did, I mean. And I was also part of a gymnastics. But during the summer, she didn't want me to be lethargic. She didn't want me to sit around all summer. My mom, she's a big time tomboy. She would go outside as a kid and play with the other guys and, stereotypically playing like sports with the guys. Now it's just like you can do whatever you want and you're still fine. But it was kind of seen negatively back then, but she didn't care. So she wanted me to be a part of like a summer camp. And to show how invested she was in the summer camp, I found out later on that this summer camp was like $1,000 for genuinely 3 months. My mom is crazy like that. She really didn't want me to be out, inside playing video games for the whole summer. So, I go into summer camp, and the way they break up the summer camp groups are important for the story. So the ages are between 6 and 13. Well, actually 12, but if you turn 13, that's your last year. Like, if you start off the camp as 12, but you finish camp as 13, that is your last year. You can't come back as a 13-year-old. So, I did about 3 or 4 years of summer camp until I hit, that age. And the thing that I found to be so interesting was how the kids, most of them, well, not most of them, but some of them were like well off. Their parents were like executive boards at, for the village or, well, in my city, back when I lived in a different suburb, they call our city a village. But, it could also be seen as like a township or, a city. But there were some high-ranking members, and then there were few, well, not few, but there were were some like me where, you know, they just didn't, you know, they just had proactive moms and dads who didn't want them to, you know, play video games and be inside all summer. The first year, I didn't really make that many friends. I wasn't an outcast, but the people in my group, we just didn't, you know, we didn't resonate. So most liked one thing, for example, vividly, most liked baseball. And no offense to baseball fans, but baseball felt a bit more sedentary and I prefer basketball. So, you know, it was kind of weird. But the highlight of the summer was that because parents were paying thousands of dollars towards this camp, it in turn funded, you know, certain activities that we wouldn't be able to have. So every week, on like, for example, on Thursdays we had a ethnic themed day where they would pull out all the stops. For example, if there was like Chinese Day, we would do, you know, have presentations from people who practice this. We would go to like different parts of in Illinois. So like, for example, Chinatown, we would go there. We would you know, we would eat their food. We would learn words and, you know, different activities, and it was overall fun. And on the next day, Friday, we would have like a day out. So that meant, for example, we would go to the movies or to the zoo, or we would go to a museum, or we would go to a water park, stuff like that. And every year we finished the year at a park, and we would play at the park all day. Personally, for me, that was kind of the weakest, you know, field trip, because, you know, you're just at a park for 8 hours and playing, like, I don't know, but it was kind of symbolic for like, this is the last time for some people, so to make the best of it. So as I mentioned, it took me a while to get friends. I joined when I was 9, so I had about 3 or 4 years. And around age 11, I started to find people that, you know, resonated with me. So it was the gaming group, because crazy enough, back then, if you gamed, you were seen as kind of like a nerd in a way, but it's changed now. Thank goodness. They would play Pokemon, they would play, you know, PSP games, anime, Naruto. That was kind of my group. And our group consisted of, like, I personally remember 5 members, but I can't remember the face of the last one. But I know it was a guy because it was me, another kid. He was kind of like the stereotypical, like, chubby, had glasses, that type of kid. Then there was a girl. She also had glasses and, you know, fit the mold of just they all look like nerds, essentially, except for maybe the last 2 didn't. So one of them looked like he played, like, maybe baseball. He was really lanky. If you can call a 9-year-old, actually at this point we were like 11, but he was pretty lanky. And then there was one girl, and her name was, God, it's on the tip of, what was her name? I'm just gonna have to make up a name for her. Her name was, Layla, why not? Her name was Layla. And Layla was actually, like, at this time, she was, like, popular with the other guys, you know, for obvious reasons. Because she didn't, well, she liked video games, but back then, if you were a girl who played video games, you were, like, one of one. And I know I just said there was another girl who also played video games, but she wasn't popular with the guys. So, take that as you will. So, time to talk about some health topics real quick. So 9 through 13 is when, I like to call it pre-puberty, where your body starts to get ready to actually hit puberty, right? And some telltale signs are like, you know, baby acne, as I like to call it. Like you start to see hair in certain places that you're not used to, stuff like that. I'm trying to keep it as nasty, if in case people are, eating along with me. Also, shout out to you guys who do. You guys are cool. But yeah, from 9 to 13, a lot can change with your body, right? So I remember with my chubby friend who had the glasses, he started to get acne in a way. Like, of course he got bigger, but he also got acne in a way. With the girl with the glasses, she got noticeably taller, to the point where she went from being 5 foot even as a 9-year-old, which is still really, really tall. But she went from 5 foot even to 5'8.5". She was taller than most of our female camp counselors. And then with the other guy, God, I really forgot their name, but I think his name was Henry. No, I think his name was Derek. Choose one, I don't care. But with him, he started to it was the same thing with the other girl with the glasses. I think her name was Lauren. God, man. But anyway, Henry/Derek got taller as well. But I guess he started to hit his muscular stride. He went from twig to kind of having a bit of definition in his arms and shoulders. So that was cool. But the weird thing was that with Layla, she kind of remained consistent throughout that time. So as 11-year-olds, we're all changing. I'm getting taller. My hair is growing out on my head. And we're all kind of meeting our stride in terms of getting ready to hit puberty. And I think at the end of that year was the final year. So keep that in mind. So you probably noticed the poll, the picture for the poll. And this is where that comes in, right? So we all come back. We all relatively look the same, minus, some new acne with the girl with the glasses. Lauren definitely has acne with Derek/Henry. And we see our friend Layla, and she got a little bit taller. So we're like, hey, you finally started growing, right? But it was about halfway through the camp. We're all playing, on our PSP. And Layla is wearing a sleeveless shirt, just for reference. And as we're playing, they say, oh, it's lunchtime, so we all pack up our It's well seasoned too. But anyway. We all go to lunch. And we're eating. By the way, they don't provide us lunch, which is funny, $400,000, you know, camp, but we have to bring our own lunches. So I think I'm eating my PB&J and Pringles. We're just talking and chatting. And then at some point, Layla says, oh, let me have one of those. And she's pointing to Lauren. She's like, yeah, go for it. And she reaches, like, extends her arm fully. And I wasn't looking, but then I think Derek/Henry was like, whoa, he said something along that line, right? And I look over, and where pre-puberty hit her was in her underarms. So to make it not as disgusting, and it shouldn't be disgusting, but I'm also making sure that nobody eating along with me, you know, doesn't get disgusted, but it shouldn't be. But anyway, she was furry under her arms. And another thing about me during this time was that I was a very awkward person. I was still trying to figure out like how to talk to people. Sounds weird, but this is a new place for me. Even 3 years later, it still felt pretty strange to be around new people that, you know, weren't at my previous school. And the thing that's messed up is that when Derek/Henry said, whoa, it's like everybody converged and looked towards where the sound came from. And then it's like the whole table was looking at Layla's arm, you know, her armpits. And it still bothers me to this day that I didn't say anything or stand up for her. It does. But as a kid, I just kind of stood and looked and just kind of, kind of tried to reserve myself from the conversation, like pull back and act like it didn't involve me, but it did. It was my friend and it wasn't cool. The thing was that they would split us up, boys and girls, for some activities. And I guess because she had underarm hair, she was with the girls, she was like, you know, they were making fun of her and whatnot, which is still makes me mad. And I remember one time she was just like, she had just recently cried, and I'm just like, man, that sucks. Because it's not fair. It's not like she can control how her body is. And sure, maybe, you know, she could have asked her mom for a razor, but, you know, she, like, immediately after that day, she never wore anything that she usually liked to wear. Just wore long sleeve t-shirts and, you know, stuff like that. And she was still a part of our group. We still played together. And, you know, at least me, the chubby kid, and Lauren, the girl with the glasses, we still played with her. But I think Derek kind of moved from that crowd and started hanging out with the more popular kids, and he and other people started, you know, it's just messed up. I guess I just keep saying it's messed up because I didn't say anything back then, and the time has already passed, and she probably, right now, has probably moved on from it. I would hope, but, you know, after that year, of course, we all turned 13 at some point during the summer. Well, I didn't, but, like, camp was from June to August, and since my birthday's in April, you know, if I start out 13, I'm not allowed. So I was 12, and then I think Lauren turned 13. The chubby kid was also 12 throughout that summer, and then I think Layla was 12 as well. So after that, we kind of just said our goodbyes, and then I haven't seen them since. I would like to hope they're all doing well, but yeah, just kind of like that bittersweet end to a summer in Murray. But I just wanted to tell that story. Also, Layla's name isn't Layla because it was kind of a big thing. I'm pretty sure you guys already knew that though. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.